But now with vehicle emissions becoming a really hot topic, cars like the Nissan Leaf are becoming more popular. Motorists are starting to realise that they are incredibly cheap to run, remarkably practical for most people, and when they are used, they offer really good value for money.
Auto Express has just named the Nissan Leaf as the best used electric car on the market, thanks to its proven reliability, value, and sheer choice of cars on offer.
But buying one will be a new experience for most people. Forget about head gaskets, clutches and exhausts. The Nissan Leaf doesn't have any of them.
What should you be looking for in a used Leaf? We've come to one of Nissan's biggest dealers, Westway in North London, to show you what to look out for.
First, decide what model you want. The very first Leafs were built in Japan. They had a light-coloured interior, very easy to spot. I drove one for a couple of years and it was great. The oldest is more than 6 years old now, but the British-built cars like this one are far more numerous, so there's much more choice.
If you can afford it, we'd suggest going for a Sunderland-built car like this. It had a number of improvements which make it more practical and usable, not least a more durable black interior. Let's take a closer look. First, the wheels. This Tekna comes as standard with these diamond-cut 17-inch alloys. They look great, but any curbing damage will be expensive to repair. Look at the tyres too. Electric cars should have eco tyres to maximise the range. The wrong rubber will affect performance by up to 10%, so cheap ones are a false economy. This houses the charge ports. You can open it by using the key or a button on the dash. Check there's no corrosion in there. Some drivers have been known to drive along with the flap open in the rain. We'll show you how to charge later. Some Leafs come with a solar panel built into the rear spoiler. It trickle charges the 12-volt battery, so it's nice to have, but far from essential. Let's see what's in the boot. Depending on the model, you'll either have a cable that looks like this, which is essential to charge at public points in car parks, or a so-called granny charger, which uses a conventional 3-pin plug. If you're relying on this alone, it's going to take you about 10 hours to charge, but it's good for emergencies. If you have both cables, it's a real bonus and usually means you have the optional 7.7 kilowatt charger on board. Another way to check is to look at the display. If it shows 2 charge times, you have the upgrade. And if you can afford it, that's the one you want. The Leaf doesn't have a spare wheel. Instead, there's a can of tyre foam. Make sure it's in the car and hasn't been used. This Tekna comes with a Bose sound system, which does eat into the boot space slightly, but you've got to enjoy your music, right? Here in the driver's seat, you can see the controls. It's quite easy. All Leafs have keyless start, so just put your foot on the brake and press the button. The car is now running. This joystick then controls the gearbox. In reverse, you'll see the camera comes on. Teknas have Nissan's clever around view monitor, which is absolutely brilliant for parking and protecting those alloys. Check all the cameras are working. 2 are mounted in the door mirrors and they're vulnerable to damage. Also make sure the dealer has the SD card. Some remove them for safekeeping and then lose them. Without it, the car will work, but many of the nice functions won't. Replacements are hundreds of pounds and need to be programmed by the dealer. Don't buy a Leaf without one. This gauge here is the charge level indicator. The range of this car tells us it has the 24 kilowatt battery. If you're showing over 100 miles, you have the bigger 30 kilowatt, which was introduced in 2015. Leafs with a 24 kilowatt are good for around 80 real-world miles. If that's enough for you, then they're cheaper to buy. Next to the gauge, you can see there's 12 blocks. These indicate the battery condition. This has the full 12, which means the car is in excellent health.
Electric cars do lose battery capacity over time, but not in the same way as your mobile phone or your laptop. In fact, you shouldn't see any noticeable degradation until well over 100,000 miles. The taxi company ran a Leaf as a cab for 170,000 miles and still had 10 out of the 12 bars.
While we're in here, check the carpets for dampness. If a replacement windscreen has been badly fitted, it can cause leaks. It means the car will mist up and can get into electrics, causing problems. The glove box usually holds the service history. Leafs are a lot less sensitive to servicing than conventional cars. The work is mainly a check over the systems and safety items. That means servicing is cheap too, far less than a petrol or diesel car. A minor checkup is £99 at this dealer, with a major service, which includes a brake fluid change and pollen filter replacement, is £149. Keep the services up and Nissan throws in free RAC cover too. That's a pretty good deal, and it means it makes sense to stay in the Nissan network, especially because they've been trained on the Leaf. Just taking it for a quick spin, apart from the relative silence and the perky performance, it's pretty much like driving any automatic car. There is a slightly quirky foot brake. Apart from that, it's all pretty familiar. These gauges tell me how economically I'm driving. You get more power back into the battery if you lift off the accelerator and brake, and you get even more if you drive in B mode. The other advantage of electrics is that Leafs are very economical on their brake pads. You can expect to get about 70,000 miles out of one set.
Now we've been for a drive, let me show you how to charge. It's very simple. This is a fast charger. It'll take you from empty to full in about 4 hours. Just plug in the cable either end. The car will start to charge, the lights will illuminate on the dashboard. And this is a rapid charger. This will take you from 0 to about 80% in around 30 minutes. They're at motorway service stations, IKEA stores, and most big Nissan dealers have one too.
All seems good with this Leaf. Most are kept in the dealer network and they'll have the best choice of cars. Nissan's Cared For used car program is one of the best in the business too. If you don't like the car after 30 days, they'll swap it for another.
Thanks very much indeed, appreciate it. So let's talk money. If you were to trade in a pre-2009 car against the Nissan Cared For used Leaf, it could be on your drive for as little as £100 a month, which is probably less than you're currently paying for petrol and road tax. Sounds like